Township Board. I'd like everyone, well, first of all, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance first.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Assessor Fry.
Here.
Highway Commissioner McVeigh. Here. Clerk Giovanni is here. Supervisor Diamond. Here. Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Horvath.
Here.
Trustee Maher.
Here.
Trustee Lee.
Here. Thank you very much. First thing on our agenda is approval of the minutes of our last board meeting. Would you like a motion to approve the minutes?
Before we do that, I have a question. Page 4, Karen, in the middle, it says Attorney Esbrook, who's not here today, stated that in order to destroy any documents, we have to get a certificate from the archives. I do not believe that's exactly what he said, but other than that, I have no problem voting on it. I just want to clarify that. Give him a chance to if that's really what he said. I think some documents have to be kept.
I think he said something like we had to get approval from the Local Records Commission, or maybe the State Archives. I think he said something like that.
You
But,
can't be all documents. Can't give us-
but I can't remember exactly what he said. But did you have some suggested modification?
Maybe we could just wait till we can see what Kurt has to say, since he's the best expert on what he had to say. I want to hear what he has to say about that. Because some of those documents we could probably get rid of without a certificate from the archives. Just people paper up there from 1995.
We could also listen to the tape, I suppose.
Yes.
Did you want to pass this to the next board meeting?
Sure, I'll just hold off on that particular sentence, just so we get Kurt's opinion on that again.
Well, I think probably we should maybe just table the whole motion to approve. Well, we actually only have a motion on the table yet to approve the minutes.
It's okay with me.
So are you making a motion to table the approval of the minutes?
Or to approve it with striking that until we find out what Kurt has to say about that. Do that too, if you want.
I'm just not sure how to do that. Yeah, we could just table. Yeah, we could just table.
Either one's okay.
We're going to say something like we needed to get some type of approval.
I mean, if you want to just take it out,
Yeah, that's okay with me. Just delete it until we Kurt clarification from Kurt.
but if that's amended, just take it out.
All right. So what?
If you want to insert it back later, you have to amend the minutes.
Yeah.
The other option is to table it.
But you don't really care if it's in the minutes, you just want to know what the answer is, right?
Pretty much. And I don't want us bound to this statement, but I don't think Kurt made it. I don't think that's what Kurt said.
So what is the sentence that you think you'd like to have taken out?
Attorney Esbrook stated that in order to destroy any documents, we have to get a certificate from the archives. I don't think he said any documents. He didn't talk about the archives. Yeah. So I'm okay approving it, deleting that sentence until we get Kurt's opinion on that again. So we don't misquote him.
Could it say some documents?
Any document.
But I think you're at question.
Could it be changed to say some documents?
Amended to say some documents.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I
So,
agree, yeah. He did say that.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 26, 2024 with the amendment that on page, what is it, 4?
4, yes, ma'am.
4, Attorney Kurt Esbrook said, what did I say?
Motion to approve the meeting, striking the word any, and inserting the word some.
Fine, okay.
Second.
Some documents. Some documents.
Some documents?
Perfect.
All right. Does that make sense?
Some
Do you
documents.
understand that, what you're just saying?
Some documents,
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's fine.
All right, so we have, I think you made that motion, Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
And was there a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Any further discussion about that? All right, have a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond. Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Abstain.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Abstain.
Okay, that passes. All right, next on the agenda is approval of the general assistance expenditures. Do I have a motion to approve those expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of March 29, 2024, April 12, 2024, and April 26, 2024, and general assistance checks number 55332 through check number 55366 in the amount of $41,482.32.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of March 29th, 2024, April 12th, 2024, and April 26th, 2024, and road district checks number 23362 through check number 23410 in the amount of $172,612.38.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the general town fund expenditures?
I'll make a motion to approve payroll for pay dates of March 29, 2024, and April 12, 24, and April 26, 2024, and general town fund checks number 60940 through checks number 61011, total amount $399,515.09. Second.
Any questions, comments? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, we're now at that part of our meeting for public participation. Do we have any requests for public participation? They indicate to know that there are no such requests. So we'll move on to old business. Discussion of internal auditing services. Any one of my front if you have any questions about this? We, at the last meeting, discussed requesting bids for, or rather requests for proposals for auditing services starting with next year. Do you want to tell us what we have here?
Sure. So good evening. I put together an RFP that went out for audit services to explore potential partnerships for future audits to include fiscal year ending 2025 with options for audit fiscal year 2026 and fiscal year 2027. The RFP requested firm qualifications, fee proposals, copies of certificates of compliance, field work requirements, etc. So I did forward this to about 7 different accounting firms who had direct experience with governments, and in response I got 3 proposals, of which I included those in your board packets for you to review. So all 3 proposals did include the materials that were requested, and as discussed last month, we decided to seek out proposals for a couple different reasons. One, to explore different approaches and methodologies, as well as we wanted to get pricing variances. So I have the RFP fee schedule broken down into our 3 funds, Town Fund, GA, and Road and Bridge. However, just to give you an idea of the total dollar amount the proposals came in at, and I think I included that in your board packet. We had Lauterbach and Ahmed quoted us at $14,700, Evans, Marshalls, and Keys at $15,600, and Selden Fox at $25,000 even. And just for comparison purposes, we're currently paying $14,000 for all 3 funds. So, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, is there any questions from the members of the board?
Okay, I have a question. So Evans, Marshall, and Peace, though, we have a conflict potentially, right? Because they do day-to-day bookkeeping, so.
They do some of our accounting work, so Tyler would be auditing his own work.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, and Lauterbach is the one you talked to us about last time, where they required our staff to do a lot of the foundational work?
Right, so they have us upload quite a few documents in a portal, it's called Surlink, which is very time consuming. You know, Vicki spearheads this audit. The only thing is I don't know that another accounting firm wouldn't have us do the same thing. Honestly, I think Lauterbach is a pretty big accounting firm, and if you want to use a big accounting firm that works with governments, I don't know that somebody would work any different. Obviously, they're very thorough. We're in the middle of our audit now, which is going very smoothly. So, you know, again, I mean, there's pros and cons. When we work with Evans, Marshalls, and Pease, how they work, they just work differently. They didn't require us uploading documents prior to the audit.
Okay. And then, Lauterbach's estimate was 14,000?
14,700.
Sullivan Box was 25?
25,000, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone that I send the RFPs out to were firms that I received from other townships. I reached out to some of the other administrators to ask who they use. So that's where I got my referrals from.
I'll ask a follow-up question there. You just said that Evans did not require uploading of as many documents. That's probably
Can't hear you, Karen.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Evans did not require uploading as many documents, but would that be because they actually had prepared the documents themselves, so they already have those documents?
They had a scanner, they had other equipment, that they were able to just do the work while they were here on site.
Doing accounting work?
Right.
I see. Any other questions here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Any other question?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just, can the board vote on a 3-year deal with one of these?
Right.
Or is that something that the board can do if we have a new board coming in?
Right. Extends beyond their terms.
There are certain, generally speaking, contracts cannot exceed the term of the board. There are certain exemptions to that. If you want me to look into that, I will.
Okay, so not
Right.
certain about this, but they have to be looked into if we would continue. Is that what these
Well-
firms are requiring for us to be with them for 3 years? Is that the stipulation on or Dana 1 year? or-
So I did put in the RFP to explore potential here's how I worded it, to explore potential partnerships for future audits to include fiscal years ending 2025 with an option to audit years 2026 and 2027.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so we are just.
right.
Only the one.
Only that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's kind of a jump with Lauterbach then in that 3rd year, what they're going up to, at 16.3, whereas Evans is only going up $200 more at the end of that period. Yeah. 15.8. So, I mean, that's a consideration too. And how it's run more smoothly with Evans. I don't know if we want to fight the board for the 1,100. Could be right, is my math right?
Are there other, yes, Joe?
I had a question for Kim and Karen. Were there any contracts that bound us before we ever took office that were voted on by the prior board?
The way I remember it is in our last year, like from like December of 20, like for instance, December of 2024 to whatever, May of 2025. I thought it was that span where we didn't really extend contracts for longer than the term, but I can't think of one. I don't know.
Yeah, so I can't,
Karen, too.
I can't remember.
Not sure if you.
But one thing I'm glad to hear that is that it's just an option. It's not, we're not bound to rule to year 2 and 3.
Okay, that's one year.
It's an option to take that price if we want to.
Oh, I see.
We can do another RFP.
We could do another RFP, I suppose, or, you know, whoever's on the new board could do another RFP. if they wanted to do
Right.
that. Yeah.
Does our attorney think that necessarily contracts that extend beyond our? Do you think our a contract entered beyond our term would be improper? I don't see why it would be. We're elected officials, we vote on it.
Generally speaking, a contract is not supposed to exceed the term.
Okay.
There's a number of exemptions. So if you want to go into the contract, I would try to look into whether we can.
Okay, that's in the statute, council? Okay, thank you.
My main concern is having the same firm review the figures as compile the figures. And I think if we were a public company, a publicly traded company, of course we're not, but if we were, the SEC would absolutely prohibit the same firm from doing both the auditing work and the accounting work. So again, we're not a publicly traded firm, but I just think the same concept sort of applies, and you really should have the same firm performing both of those functions. So I think that Evans does a great job on the day-to-day accounting. I've got no complaints about that.
We like that too, right?
Pardon?
Employees like that too. So they like working on that job.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
call him,
She
she's
just works.
sanitized. But I really feel that I could not vote in favor of them for the audit. Again, I don't want to cast any aspersions on them in terms of their accounting ability. I don't think there's anything wrong with the work that they do, but I just think it's a matter of, making sure that we're doing all we can to make sure that our books are kept properly and that there is, adequate oversight. That's how I would feel about it. Perhaps I'm particularly nervous since I watched the documentary All the Queen's Horses, which is about Frida Cromwell and how she embezzled money from the city of Dixon, which is a fabulously interesting documentary. But anyway, it's just really sort of made me want to be particularly careful about things like that. Yeah, right. So, anyway, it was an interesting movie. So, any other questions?
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
So, Dana, I'm not sure if you're aware or if you know this, but do you know what, we had talked briefly, but do you know what type of audits each firm is doing? Because I've noticed quite a difference in pricing. Lawback would charge Road and Bridge $5,600 and then the town fund $6,700. It seems like that's unfairly proportioned based on the amount of bills that town hall has for us.
Right.
So, but I just want to compare apples to apples.
Right.
So, do we have a specific type of audit that each one is offering?
So here's what I'm thinking. I actually don't think that the audit itself is different. I think it's the people that they're sending out to do the audit. So they could be sending out somebody who has a CPA, someone who doesn't have a CPA, someone who's an intern, first year, second year, someone who's a manager. I think it depends on the person's credentials, to be honest with you. So they're going to pay that person a different hourly rate, and we would be charged differently. Yeah.
So we've got
Pretty close though, Eddie, too. The price is pretty close from Sullivan and Box and Waterbach between Roads and Bridges and Town. They're close.
Yeah,
There's another white one on the other guys.
like Scale A is drastically different.
Yeah.
Road and Bridge is $2,300 and the town fund is $10,900.
Right.
So that's, again, that's a drastic difference.
That's a big difference, right?
And I mean, we have simple books. Our books are not complicated. So my thing that I want to know is how they came up with the prices for each particular.
I don't think we know that, do we?
Right, that I don't know. I have to inquire about that.
I would like to respond to your comment though, and I think they were off to it. I think actually they're charging, or Evans is quoting way too low for Road and Bridge. Because it's the same as general assistance is what they're charging. General assistance just has a few bills, I mean, a very small number of bills. So, and I looked at it and I thought if it was equitably divided, if you took the full amount, like $15,650, which is the full amount for the first year, if you divided that number up according to what each budget is, the amount of the town fund budget, the amount of GA budget, and the amount of Road and Bridge, if you were to do that, town fund would pay $8,000, GA would pay $1,000, and Road and Bridge would pay $6,500. So actually, both Lauterbach and Evans are quoting Road and Bridge less than a proportionate amount of the full cost of the audit based on the budget of each firm, of each fund.
So do they go based on budget, or they go about the amount of invoices and bills and stuff?
I don't know how they do it. I'm wondering if
That's
they
important.
just sort of, well, I don't know if there is a real structured way that they quote that.
But I think we should find out how they're determining those prices for each particular, even if, let's say, 2340 for Road and Bridge with Scale, let's say that's low. But let's say I would go bump myself up to 4,000. And then let's say this is high, this is saying that 10,000 for Road and Bridge. Let's say we, somewhere in the middle makes sense. I would just like to determine how they're coming up with those figures. That's all. So I don't think that's too much to ask.
Well, I guess, as I said, I thought that they're actually not charging Road and Bridge enough according to the quote, but I would vote against them
That's your
for another reason, and that is the conflict.
Well, that's your opinion. And I think that I personally think that if he has another, let's say a CPA that does it, where he's not doing it, is it a conflict? That's up to the individuals that, in the board that's voting on it.
I would say we are in this, where I work as a government body, and we are in the same situation right now, and we are doing the same exact thing. Actually, Lauterbach is our accountant, and we are switching to a different auditor because we don't want there to be that conflict. So, I mean, I have to agree on this. I don't think it's appropriate for the people, the organization that is doing our accounting to audit the accounting that they're doing. I don't think they can consider pretty commercial, so.
And that's fine. As long as the board votes to approve whichever one we decide to go to, I'm fine with going with that, but I don't think that one person should decide which auditing company we should.
I mean, I guess I would say, is it a conflict? I mean, or is it just the appearance of a conflict? Because you want to avoid appearances also. But maybe it's not actually a conflict, like Ed says, and Ed brought this up last time. Maybe it is a separate division that, is a wall or something. So maybe it's not a conflict, but the appearance of a conflict, I think, can be just as damaging as an actual conflict sometimes.
Can we question any of these companies? Is there any representatives from these companies that we could talk to?
With what questions? How they divided up these numbers?
Yeah, how they came up with the numbers, just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Is this a package deal? I mean, can Bridge and Highway go their own way and do their own thing, or is it a package deal?
I think it's a package deal. We've never split it up before, but I don't want to say 100%.
More expensive to split it up, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd probably be more expensive to split it up.
Yeah, we've never done that before. I don't want to say it can't be done. We've always included all three funds with the same firm.
I just kind of wonder.
Yeah,
Is this a decision we need to make tonight?
Well, the reason why we need to move forward with it is the accounting firms or the auditing firms do tend to book out. I don't know if we have to make it tonight, but you have to make it pretty far in advance, because otherwise they take on other jobs and then they will not commit to yours if they don't have the personnel to do it.
I just didn't know if we could hold off making a decision until we get that information for Ed to find out how they determined the breakdown. If that seems like it's a concern, but
It's a reasonable question.
Well, it doesn't say anything about vote going on the agenda, it just says discussion, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
right. I didn't put vote only because, well, we're in the middle of the audit, so obviously the next audit isn't until next
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
So I didn't put vote only because I think we have some time to discuss it, so I don't know that we have to vote on it tonight. I couldn't put it
Okay,
in the old business for
okay.
discussion.
Well, as you point out, we can't vote on it tonight, so we can put this over until next month. But I just want to know exactly what your question is. Just how did they arrive at their breakdown?
Yeah,
Or did they,
yeah, it just seems like they're all over the board, and I know some of them are extremes, but I just want to know how they came about those numbers. And again, if the board decides that they want to go with one over the other, I really don't care as long as it's a board decision.
I think we should also ask them these conflict questions.
I think Evans would tell you they don't have a conflict.
Well, but I want to know why they think that.
Oh,
Of course, they're gonna tell us that,
Yeah.
but if they have a reason why, it's, should at least consider it. Otherwise, why did we even offer them up for an RFP? Like, why would we
Because
even
I-
invited them?
I think we were asked to do so.
Why who?
I think you asked if you wanted to get others to submit one.
I just wanted to see multiple quotes
Okay.
for the services.
All right, so we have to get this order because it doesn't say vote on the agenda. So let's put that.
If we wanted to expedite it, we would discuss Sullivan Fox and just eliminate them, bind it down to 2. Because I don't know if anybody agrees that Sullivan Fox.
I don't know that we have to vote on it, but I think probably we're all, I mean, I think it does seem a little out of line.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, I mean, at least it narrows it down to 2 proposals. I'm
I'm
going to
guessing
agree.
we're narrowed down to 2, yeah.
That's okay with me. I don't think that's been, anyone disagrees with that.
If we had to, we could have a special meeting. We had
Yeah,
to.
we could.
They'll change their prices.
Yeah.
Between now and
It
then.
doesn't sound like it's happening.
All right, okay, so any more discussion on that? Okay, all right. Okay, the next one does say discussion and possible vote on engaging salary study compensation analysis. Ruba, you worked on this, as did Dana, so we're going to look at the mic in case we have any questions. Has everyone had a chance to look at the materials that were in their package of 4 different companies that made a proposal?
There isn't like I was a little confused by some of the pricing of like a couple of them. So I don't know if there was like a breakdown of exactly what each was offering.
So, well, let us give like just a little summary
Sure.
and then we can do a little Q&A if that's okay. Okay, so I reached out to Dr. Victoria McGrath from McGrath Human Resources Group, and she did a compensation study back in 2019, or some board members remember. So she was already familiar with our organization and speaking to my team and me. So she still had all the data stored, and she asked if there had been any major changes that took place here at the township. So upon telling her that we had a few added positions and a couple of our positions went from full-time to part-time, part-time to full-time, she felt that it was best to provide what she called a salary schedule market update instead of kind of reinventing the wheel and starting over. So I included in your board packet the 2019 original salary study and then the update that she just sent, and I put that in the board packet for review. So the original study that we did back in 2019, for comparison purposes, we paid $13,800, and then the update that she's quoting us now would be $7,400. And then Ruba was instrumental in obtaining supplemental studies, and I'm going to let her speak on those.
So I gathered the information from 3 more companies, which is HR Source, OutSolve, and GovHR USA. So basically, most of them has the same process, will give us the same outcome. But the difference basically between the time they can start, the duration of the project, and the cost, of course. So I'm going to start with HR Source. They won't be able to start until the end of summer, around August, September probably. The duration of the project is around 12 weeks, and the cost is going to be $11,000 and $2,500. For OutSolve,
11,000,
250, I think, wasn't it?
250? Or,
it's going to be 11,250,
thank you.
yes.
Thank you. 11,
Ruben, can I make just a quick question?
Yeah.
So I looked at their brochure and it says on page 7, it's up to 30 positions. We actually have more than 30
So
positions?
how's the market survey goes? It's not by number of positions, it's number of unique positions, which means, let's say in the, I'm gonna give example, in the assessor's office. You have 2 people that are assessors. They have the same job description, so it is one unique job description.
Okay. All right, so we're under 30, are we? Or-
Yeah, we're at 30.
All right.
For outsolve, they can start right away once we sign the proposal. It will take them 4 to 6 weeks, and the cost is going to be $9,000. I'm sorry, I'm just going to add one thing about HR Source. In the packet, where in the proposal, on page 7, on the last, the paragraph before the last is the last line. It reads that HR Source survey library does not include benchmarking surveys specific to villages, township, and municipality. That kind of alarmed me a little bit because we are a township, and if they don't gather data and they don't have library of information for such institute, that won't be a good position for us.
Which one had that language, outside? HR Source.
HR Source.
Thank you. All right.
And the last proposal I received is from Government HR. They will need 4 to 6 weeks after accepting the proposal. They will take, the project itself will take 16 weeks to accomplish.
16?
16, yeah. For outsource, it's 4 to 6 weeks. It was the shortest. And again, for HR Source, to remind you, it's 12 weeks. So I think it's on average 12 to 16 weeks, because I think...
Same with McGrath.
With McGrath,
They
they
quoted
was-
us at 16 weeks.
And could
Oh.
they start now? McGrath, could they start
Right away.
And the price for Gover HR USA, it's $19,500. If we did the classification and the compensation study, they can split only the compensation study for $10,500.
Oh, wait, I'm
How
sorry.
much did you say it was? 19,000?
So yeah, they will do classification and compensation study, which is, it's gonna be more, they will look all over our job descriptions, the job itself, it will be classified. They can do both or one of each, so it's our choice.
Oh, I was under the misimpression.
Are the other ones doing just compensation?
Yeah, all of them is gonna do compensation, so if you wanna, let's say, compare apples to apples, it's gonna be, the cost for that is $10,500 from Government HR USA.
When I read it, I thought that you had to take the first one and then you could add on.
No, they can have
Choose
both.
one or the other, okay.
One of the others.
10,000 is for the compensation part.
Excuse me?
Or the 10,000 is for the compensation.
Yes.
And that's equivalent to what the other three are doing? That's equivalent to what the other three are doing?
Yeah. So just to sum this up, McGrath is basically the cheapest within the reasonable time.
What was the price on the breath? Sorry, Ruben.
7,400.
So, thank you. All right, thanks.
And of course they have, I think Dana agree with me, they have all information already. They've been dealing with them. So, but this is my personal opinion regarding this. Any more questions?
If I remember correctly, that's about half the prices before, right?
Yeah.
It was around 15,000?
Yes.
So is McGrath though, are they using, are we gonna be able to send them brand new job descriptions and have them go over everything? And then are they gonna use like newer current data
Yes.
for other jobs all around?
Yes,
Okay.
so let me just read really quickly. So market update, we'll do a market update, which will include an external market analysis to identify the competitive market along with the job analysis of new or changed positions. And then I have a bunch of bullet points. So yes, we can send them whatever, all new update. Obviously 2019 was 5 years ago, so a lot of, we've done job descriptions, we have a couple new positions, so things have changed.
And will they also sort of slot things in like a salary scale, do you know, or would that be something separate?
think they will. I would have to talk to her about how she's gonna lay it out.
And we're still trying to go through grant.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna answer you for McGrath. They do draft classification and compensation system to us.
I was kind of looking at the last one, which was, is that MGT? Is that or Gov HR?
Yeah.
The thing I like about them, they're locally based. They're in Northbrook. McGrath is from Tennessee. I just feel that, don't you feel that that's a situation that they have more knowledge?
McGrath was here and they just moved. I think they were in Northbrook. When they did our study, they were here in Northbrook and then they moved. So, I mean, they're technically not here anymore, I understand that. But she is familiar with the area.
Okay.
But she is no longer here.
Right.
But do you feel that McGrath would be just kind of compensating on old data that they have?
No, I mean, she'd reach out for all, no, she wouldn't reach out for all the data. She wouldn't rely on anything that she had in the past. But she, right, I mean, that's a concern. She is not in this area any longer. I mean, that's, she's back.
Other than them having done our study before, do they work with other government, oh, it looks like they've done other cities.
I think, yeah, they mentioned
Okay.
it. And,
One more time was the negative from HR Source. What page is that on? Their materials?
7?
I don't see anything on 7. It's-
Or maybe,
Yeah,
they just said that they don't, they basically, because that's what we've used for other jobs that I've worked at, and they do a lot of like public libraries, a lot of things like that, but they don't work with like governments or
Oh,
townships.
no, townships. Okay, that was the
So-
bad language, the township.
Yeah,
I think
I
it
don't know
was,
how specific.
HR Source that told us they relied on a certain database.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we then tried to use that database on our own to take a trial test of it. And
Yeah.
it was not.
we couldn't find anything.
It wasn't very
Yeah.
helpful, it
Well-
didn't have much in it, so I don't know.
I will say that when we got our study back from them, we were all very disappointed in the results. So
It was HR.
it was HR Source, yeah.
And disappointed at why that they,
We all felt that they were much lower than they should have been.
I see.
The salaries were lower.
Yeah. We felt that they didn't accurately reflect what we felt they should have reflected. Um,
Any other questions down? Okay. Any questions? I sort of liked the government HR, just because they do a lot of government work. They did, for instance, the city of Des Plaines. Did you know anything about that?
No.
You worked at the library, which was part of the city, but you
Yeah.
might not have known anything about that, Kelly.
No.
Okay, so, but they give a lot of references of Illinois, villages, towns, and it's on page 6 of their proposal.
Well, that was something I liked about them too, is that it did seem like they had, a lot of experience with government. And I just was concerned before I heard them talk, just whether McGrath was giving us as much as they could, I guess.
Right.
Like if they're just like going to pull out some of the
Uh-huh.
stuff, like,
Yeah.
and maybe not. I just,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Well, leaving that issue aside, I looked again at the McGrath study, and one thing I thought about it when I read it a couple times before is that it's a little vague in terms of specific positions. I mean, it talks about overall incumbent salaries, and there's a lot of discussion of salaries in general, but it doesn't really say you should raise this one, or this one's okay, or this one's too high. It seemed to me more like it was generalized conclusions and not any real specific advice. There was just one page that had a little chart on it. It listed maybe.
Did I hear you say you were recommending McGrath?
Yeah, just because they have the data of the township, they're not gonna gather it all over again. And they already delivered the survey for us in 2019. Again, it's your decision.
This is just a proposal, I don't know if you have in front of you the actual study, I didn't include that in the packet, so I don't.
Oh, I have a study.
McGrath's last study.
Yeah, the actual results I've not included.
Yeah.
So with that, you don't
Uh,
have, this is just their proposal that they turned in.
I would sort of want someone who would get new data though,
Yes.
because we have, I mean, the township is not the same, you know,
Right.
nothing is the same, so I don't want to use data from 2019.
A different provider would have brought objective opinion too, if you had someone other than McGrath, that's why. I looked at all of them, Karen, and I think it's between outsole and government HR. I thought government HR had a real good package too. Their price is quite a bit more than outsole.
Well,
10,000. So.
yeah, so it's only, I mean,
Yeah, but then another one, they gave a breakdown, you know, for each what they want to do it.
Yeah, so,
It's a lot more if you do both, than just the
Yeah.
one. It's-
yeah, so,
right.
to me, it'd be, you know,
Well, and the 2001 is the same thing everybody else would be doing too. They just showed something additional that they could do.
And when did they start?
4 to 6 weeks.
HR?
Sorry?
HR could start how long?
Government HR can start from 4 to 6 weeks after accepting the proposal.
Okay, and it takes roughly 16 weeks for them to do it?
Yes.
So, okay.
By fall,
outsole is right away 4 to 6
So,
weeks.
4 to 5 months.
like you can say 5 months, you need to give 5 months to get the survey.
And I do like, I mean, it shows you a breakdown. I mean, several of them did, showed you a breakdown of like the schedule and the timeline. And it seems pretty thorough. I mean, a lot of them do.
And government HR, they work with government already,
Right.
with township and other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with the argument that a set of fresh eyes might be good.
Yeah, I guess I
It
mean,
would be hard to resist to just recycle data. When you
well,
already
we would
have
never know.
it.
We would never know where they're pulling their information from, so I don't know.
I'm sure they wouldn't, but exactly, you never know.
Yeah.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion?
Okay, motion, you want us to accept government HR?
Well, it sounds like that's what I'm hearing.
Is that what you're asking? Okay. Motion to
Accept the proposal.
accept the proposal for government HR for the compensation study. $10,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Okay, President, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond? Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
No.
Trustee Lee?
Yes. No. I thought that the much cheaper one was just outsole.
No, but
It's only
$1,000.
It's 10,000.
It's $1,000.
10,500.
What, no?
It's not higher. Did they say?
She said it's $10,000. No, that was
No,
for
that
extra
was for
coverage,
$500.
that none of those were, that was the one that did the extra coverage.
Yeah, it was 10,500.
All right, so moving on to new business, I think we have a couple of items that will go a little quicker. First of all, I'd like a motion to approve the appointment of an additional FOIA officer. Now, Eva is a FOIA officer who does the day-to-day work, and Kim is a FOIA officer, I am too, but normally we are approving the paperwork that Eva has pulled together. But Eva sometimes wants to go on vacation, right? And she can do that, but we're going to need someone in her absence to handle those FOIA requests that come in because we only have 5 days to respond to them, so we can't just wait around. Jessica, I understand, is willing or has her arms been twisted to become an additional FOIA officer. And so do I have a motion to appoint Jessica Guzman as an additional additional FOIA officer.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments?
The only comment I would have is she'll do just as good a job as that does, so I have full confidence in her.
Okay, roll call please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, the next item is approving the hiring of Jessica Gaines. You may recall at our last meeting during the closed session, we discussed the potential hiring of Jessica Gaines, and the consensus seemed to be in favor of doing that, but we didn't approve that in open session, so that's what we're going to do tonight. So do we have a motion to
What
approve?
department is she in?
That would be Maine State.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and she's being hired for a part-time temporary position for Maine State. So do I have a motion to approve the hiring of Jessica Gaines for that position?
Motion for approval to hire continuation of work. Oh, I'm sorry, approval of hiring of Jessica Gaines.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all right, fine. Any discussion? Okay, all right, roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
I'm going to abstain just because I wasn't here, so.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Abstain.
Okay, all right, well, that passes. Next is a continuation of the Work at Home pilot program. As you may recall, 2 months ago, we approved the Work at Home program, pilot program for Maine Stay, and that has been going well. Rich has suggested one change to it, and that is that employees will be able to work at home after they've completed their probationary period of 6 months. So, in other words, they would not be able to work at home during their first 6 months of employment with the office, but otherwise, after that, they can do so with the department head's approval. So, what I'm asking for this evening is, it's one of these things that is on your, it wasn't in your board packet, but it's on the table here, to approve extending the Mainstay pilot program for Mainstay with just that one change. So do I have a motion to approve the extension of the Mainstay pilot program through July 5th, 2024? Can we hear from Rich? Sure. Yeah. Rich, where is he? Rich. Want to step up to the mic?
Sure. Give us a little information and how it's going. I know you said it's working, but.
Hello, everyone. So we've been doing this pilot program now for a little over almost 2 months, about 7 weeks or so, and it's been going well. Each employee that has elected to do that, and not everyone in the department chose to do that, has 1 day a week that they work from home. There's really not much of a significant difference in terms of access to equipment and technology. Everyone uses their cell phones with a Comcast business app. So somebody calls your number here in the office, your cell phone's going to ring. You answer it just like you would have here in the office. I've been a couple times Karen and I have spoken. It's like, are you here or are you at home? Can you come by my office? I'm like, I could, but it's going to take me a while to get here because I'm working from home today. So the call quality is very good. The residents with me will tell the difference. We also all have access to remote into our computers from home too. So we're on our home computer screen, seeing the same screen as we would as if we're in the office. The therapists have some clients that are able to have phone appointments or telehealth appointments through video. So that's been going well. We have multiple ways of communicating with each other in the office using not just email and phone, but instant messaging as well, and various group channels depending on who's working on what project. I have noticed zero difference in terms of response time for anybody. Send a message, you see this, somebody saw it right away when the regular home, they respond within minutes. So there's been no issues in terms of anything not being done as quickly as it would have been if employees were in the office. So in my opinion, it's been very successful so far.
Great. Any other questions of Rich? So you're asking that we extend the pilot program for another couple of months, is that right?
That would be great, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Maybe we can expand it.
Well, all right, do I have a motion to approve the extension of the mainstay work-at-home pilot program?
So moved.
Second.
Any further questions or comments? Please roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malika?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, our presentation by Catherine Sparrow, and Catherine's joining us here again, as she does every year, to talk about the proposed health insurance choices for the coming year.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I know you have your packets already, but unfortunately, there was a duplicate. Page 7 was duplicate of page 6.
That's what
When
we're
the board
about.
packets went out, so I reprinted them all. Sorry. So page 7 was supposed to be all the cross options, and it was the same as page 6. So sorry about that. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
But we're also going to do it on the screen.
Thank you.
And all the pages are numbered this year. Except that, yeah. like I said,
29
there was-
pages, not 19.
Well-
It says 19, once it's
No,
29.
no. So this is page, no, it's one of 19. There are 19 pages.
This is 20.
19. Yeah, there's 19 pages.
Just saying, it's a different-
19, that's what it's left. And so you're going to go,
Because it's not, it's not powerful, it's PDF. So you're going to use those zeros here, so we expect it to work.
okay.
How are you?
Okay, so I guess we're going on this side.
Okay.
So, whoops. You want to go to 2. Okay. So we did our marketing, where's my pointer? This one, make sure it works. Can't see it?
Do you want us to turn some of the lights off?
I don't know.
I see it.
I see it on you.
Yes, I think that's too bright.
Maybe.
See, you can't really see it on there. Oh, can you see it now? Yeah.
A little bit.
Over there, it's fine. It's not over there. Anyway, okay. So,
Can't see it.
you can't see the screen?
That's okay.
Oh, we got to
Yeah.
see somebody else. Okay. How's that?
Catch an old school pointer.
I don't know, it works everywhere else, but it doesn't work on the screen, so. So Blue Cross Blue Shield, I actually marketed this, early and like I always do, but I told them the results and I got them in before they even prepared the renewal, so I said, please do the best you can. They did originally come out with, around 5% increase, and then, with the comparative marketing that I went back to them with, they came down off of that, and so what they do though is they took away the grandfather plan, so they finally did take that away. We are not going to be able to have it.
Is that because we're under 50 employees?
No, it's just, it has nothing to do with you specifically, they took away the grandfather plans. So
A lot of questions were asked of me about that. Can you explain to the best of your ability how long it existed and why it was taken away, if you know? Obviously-
2014 was when we were continuing that plan. And so my They don't give us a reason, but my guess is that it was very expensive for the carriers to be able to keep up the ridge plan, so.
What were the benefits of the grandfather plan that we're going to lose?
Well,
If you-
Well, there were out-of-pockets that are no longer available now. So it was 500 total out-of-pocket. You'll see it on one of my screens here.
Thanks.
But those kinds of out-of-pockets are not available, but.
In other words, that limit on it.
I'm sorry?
In other words, that limit on out-of-pocket, right? There's
Yes.
no longer a limit of out-of-pocket, right?
No, there is, but not as low as 500.
That's what I'm
for
thinking.
individuals.
It's gone up.
And
Thank you.
thousands,
Thank
or 1,500, yeah. So, yeah, so they wanted to do away with those.
Thanks. So that's one difference, and it's Blue Cross Blue Shield that's making that change.
Yes,
Right?
correct. Yes.
Thanks.
So
Any
they
other
took away-
changes that you know?
So the HMO is going to stay the same.
Okay.
So that has not been grandfathered for quite a few years now because we actually got better co-pays by getting out of the grandfather HMO, so we didn't do that anymore a few years ago. But, so the HMO, there's no changes to the plan. The PPO, so when they took away the grandfather plan, they input in your renewal, the plan they wanted to input. Okay, so it wasn't the one that I'm showing you as the closest match to the current plan. So there's, and why I say closest match is because I'm comparing deductibles, out of pockets, things like that, okay? So I'm gonna show you the closest match, which that plan, after I got the almost 5% rate relief to bring us down to the 4.30%, okay, is what the increase would be from current to the plan that I recommend is the closest match to the one that was taken away. Does that make sense? It's not the one Blue Cross gave you, so they just gave you the plan they wanted to give you, okay? And that increase from current would be 1.24%. That has greater exposure than the one that I chose, that is closer to the PPO that you guys have now. Which that, if you accepted that plan, that would be a total of 4.30% increase from current.
Well, maybe you can point that out when you get to the chart.
Yes, I will. So I already told you the grandfather plan is not renewed. We received rate relief of 4.6%, so just under 5. We do have United Healthcare rates that do show 17.68% below renewal, and rates are for June. They have to be updated until July. They let me know today that they would hold the rates, but so a couple really important points about that is board members will not be able to be included in that plan. So I know currently we have some board members on the plan. So way back when that was okay, but now, so when you move to another carrier, there's a lot of documentation that you also have to provide, like a wage and tax and things like that. So anybody that doesn't work 20 hours or more would not be included, would not be able to be included in the plan. So that would be if you move to UHC, or really any other carrier, but UHC is the only other one that we can quote because Aetna doesn't do municipalities. Nobody else is competitive. UNAM is out of business for a while. Also, to United Healthcare, I want to make sure that you understand that these are new business, very aggressive rates. So another reason why I include the history for you guys of what the years have been, at least since I've been taking care of Maine Township, so thank you for that and that loyalty. But I include that because it's really important, because if you have a carrier that's going to take care of you in the really bad years, okay, along with the good years, I think they've been extremely good to Maine Township as far as the negotiation that they end up coming back with when I ask them and I give them competitive marketing, like where we land, okay, and when we do it overall, the years, they've really been good. I mean, we've had some really high claim years, and they've still been pretty decent. So I
Blue
keep
Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield. I can't say that if we move to United Healthcare, you have to remember that these are extremely aggressive rates. They want to get your group, okay? That's why they told me today to hold them. So they want to get your group, but what's going to happen on renewal and years after that, are they going to treat you as well? I don't know. They could come back next year and, increase you to where they need to be really, because they got you this year. said, Humana's is no longer in the market. Principal, they offer to renew us flat if we had the vision for lower rates than we have now with BSP and add CI and accident. That's on the dental. So on the dental, we do have a little bit of increase, and on the life, we have a little bit of increase. So the life, I'm just going by memory now, I think it was 10%, they'll take it down to 5%. If we add critical illness and accident, and if we move our vision from VSP to principal, they'll actually renew the dental flat with no increase. Okay, the rates are less with principal, so it would be the same network, VSP network, so really there's no reason not to do it. We'll get the life cut in half on the increase, and then we won't have any increase on dental, and the vision rates will be lower. Now, the critical illness and accident, we can't just offer it, we need a few people to take it. So, and that's helpful in like hospital situations, obviously accident situations. So that would be a voluntary benefit. If the employees wanted it, they would obviously pay for that. BSP did give us a 4-year rate guarantee that I requested last year, so or actually a couple years ago. So it's good till June of 26, so I let principal know that, and they would also take you to June of 26 on that pricing. This is the revised renewal that LaCrosse sent. So if you go to page 4, you're going to see a 1.26. Again, that is with, I'm going to try this one more time here. I see it on the black, but I don't see it on the white. So that's with the plan that they chose for the PPO, which is the MIB-PP 2020. So that's what I'm saying here. They chose that plan, but if you look at the, okay, these are the renewals over the years. So over
Page
the,
we have now, or page?
so I'm on page 5 of 19 right now.
We should just back up to 4 for just a second.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, in case anyone wants to know, they do not offer Medicare primary single, or Medicare primary single plus 1. It's on the chart, but it's not really something you can.
Yeah, that's very confusing, and I wish Blue Cross would change that. Oh, years ago, they would offer discounted pricing, okay? But they don't do it anymore. I don't know why they don't revise their proposals. But, so, in the years past, if somebody was Medicare age and they had Medicare, and, you know, obviously then you're a group over 20 lives, so the group is primary, okay, which means that the group is really going to absorb most of the claims because Medicare is going to be secondary. So they would give discounted pricing. Why they put it on there still, I don't know, because they don't really do that.
Page 4,
They don't
hiding there
give
somewhere.
discounted pricing, but.
That language is hiding on page 4.
What is that? So
That language is hiding somewhere on page 4 at the bottom, Karen's alluding to.
Okay, yeah, so, but thanks for bringing that up, because it's good to explain that, especially since we had such an issue with it, right?
Yeah.
And so you can see down here, they are listing some of the claims data. This is the only kind of data we get. We don't, because we're not a group of over 100, we don't really get claims data, but on the renewal, most of the time, they'll kind of let us know. I don't know where that came from, but, so canceled 52,683.91. That's a claim that's obviously no longer active, okay? But we do have active claims of 63,840.25 and 95,832. So, yes, it has gone down. So the risk of the group has gone down. So you'll see on the same page here, there is a reduced risk of, I think that says 9.20. It's really hard to see that. But demographic adjustments, 3.42, and the account benefit program adjustments. So trend and the fact that they're giving you a different plan is 7.79. So that's how they kind of come up with the different factors that they put into play to come up with your increase. But we got them to go down to 1.26. So the risk, the risk is definitely lower. Did anybody have any other questions about this page? So this page lists your 3 plans that you have right now at the top, and then the next box, there are the 3 plans. The one that they chose for you to be your PPO instead of grandfather, the HMO, and then there's an HSA that nobody's ever been in, but we have it as a choice, but nobody's ever been in it. And that's the box below here with the renewal rates. So these are the averages of the renewals over 13 years. So it comes to really 3.77%. The last 5 years we've been under 5%. As far as getting us to 5%, whether that's with negotiation. Usually it's with negotiation. We never just take what they give us.
Sounds like court.
It's kind of fun to play.
There's no realistic
Especially when I can get down to 1%. Yeah, I like that. Does anyone have any questions about this page? We actually, yeah, you can see here, we had the grandfather plan starting in 2014. That's what I thought. It's listed on this page. So 6 of 19, if you're ready to go there, I'm showing you the 2 plans. So the 2 plans that you have now are in the first 2 columns. So the HMO is the very first plan. The PPO is the second plan. That is your grandfather plan that they are not renewing, okay? Then the third plan is the closest to that plan that I picked to show you. That ends up being the 4.30 increase from current. And then the fourth plan is what they actually issued you on that renewal page that we just looked at. This one ends up with negotiation being 1.24%. So the difference is a 0 deductible. So right now the grandfather plan has a $500 deductible for individual, $1,500 per family. The one I picked has 0 deductible, $1,500 per family, 90%. 1,000 total out of pocket instead of the one they issued you of 1,500 out of pocket, so it's additional 500 out of pocket on the one that they issued you. 3,000 for family out of pocket on the third column, the one that I picked for you. 4,500 for the one that they issued, and then the rest of the plan is really pretty much the same until you get to the RX. The one they issued you could be $0 or $10 copay on generics, and the one that that I picked for you, alternate 2, is $10 to $20 copay, 50 or 70 on the preferred brand, and the one that they issued is 50 to 100. And then the non-preferred could be 100, 250 or 250 copay, and the one that they issued you 150 to 250. So yes, the generic is lower on the one they issued you, but I think people are going to be a little happier to pay $10 or $20 on a generic more than they're going to be to pay $30 more on the next tier, and could be $50 more for specialty. Excuse me.
So, Catherine, can I ask you a question? Just so to clarify, the current total cost for the insurance under the current plan for the combined HMO and PPO annual premiums is $832,314.48. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And the one that you're suggesting, the total cost would be $868,112?
Yes.
And
the one they issued you is $842.
okay, that's sort of it's like in this red ink, it's a little hard to see. It's 842? Is it 842,000? Is that what it says?
Yeah, 842,
I see.
639.88.
Okay. And then just going a little bit further over under the United Healthcare, the total cost to the township would be 683?
683, 304, 72, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And that would be compared to the one they issued you, the one that I suggested you go into, it would be a little bit greater savings, because obviously that plan costs a little more, so it'd be 23% lower.
I'm sorry, did you say that again?
So I have a little note here
Yeah.
compared to alternate 2. This is alternate 2, the one that I put right next to your PPO grandfather plan. And that one costs a little bit more money. So that comparison would be a 21.29% savings from that plan, the United Healthcare.
Would you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I still didn't get it either.
So this is the saving, this is the
Well,
cost.
you're saying
Pointing at which column?
Pointing at which number?
Which column, yeah?
So I'm in the last columns, the
Thanks.
UHC, and that's a combined enrollment as to what the enrollment really is in the HMO and PPO. That's a combined amount on how people are enrolled now. So that would be 683, 304, 72. If you compare that to the plan they issued, okay, which is 842, 639, 88, the fourth column, that is the 17.68% reduction. And then at the bottom of these last 2 columns, I put MIB PP 2000, which is this plan right here. I called it alternate 2. It's right next to your grandfather plan. Well, that cost is a little more. It's 868, 11240. So the savings is greater than it is on the other plan. Going with United Healthcare, it would be 21.29% lower.
So you're saying United Healthcare is 21.29% lower than alternate 2, is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
alternate 2 combined with HMO enrollment.
Was it 21% more or 4%? Is the difference?
Well, the difference between those 2, yeah, is 4%. Right.
Yeah, it's not actually 21% less than
That's the
the
total,
alternate.
the total calculation, but right, so it's about 4% more savings if you go with the more expensive plan that's closer to the PPO that you have now.
Anyone have any other questions before she moves on?
But the United Healthcare plan, if there are board members that are interested, they cannot,
They won't be able to
have a
have
privilege of taking that.
My concern is what it's going to be the following year too.
So that's my concern too, because I enjoy this little, struggle with Blue Cross because I feel like they're being really fair. But I can tell you that I have a lot of roots with United Healthcare. They're not as generous on negotiating.
Yeah, it seems like a bait and switch, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can easily come back next year and say, oh no, 20% increase, and I'll go back and say, oh, come on, like, like, do whatever I have to do, right? And I don't know what Blue Cross's numbers are gonna be, so we would have to rely on Blue Cross being really good rates for me to go back to UHC and have some negotiation power. And if I don't, they're not gonna come up with much.
And I agree, based on the last several years, even though the grandfather plan is not, available anymore, as I said earlier, I recall, there have been years when we had, unfortunately, very high claims.
Oh, yeah, close to the premium thing.
And they
Right.
still negotiated very well.
In good faith with us.
I would agree, and I feel it's really important for me to make sure you guys understand that. Because I don't know what it would be like here. But I do know that I have what I feel are decent negotiation tactics that I don't get as good a results from UHC. As I come across. So if you had a really bad year, and we don't know how Blue Cross quoting is going to treat us coming back. Like if we leave,
Right.
and then we ask for rates again,
Right.
we don't know what they're going to give us, okay?
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. And if I don't get good rates from Blue Cross, then I have nothing to go back to UHC and say, look, I can move this group to Blue Cross again. You have to
Right.
lower your rate, and if they get us stuck in that position, then we have to.
It's left between a rock and a hard
We take it or leave it
Yeah.
next round.
When switching to another group, also, could that potentially affect some of the doctors that
Yes.
people have? Yeah, so if they've got certain
They're different
doctors that
networks, for sure.
right, so that might be a consideration too.
Different networks, different contracts, and with the drug list, you could never, we can't even compare drug lists, we can't even go there, because some carriers might put a generic in a formulary, category, and it could, that could vary so greatly that we don't even go there to compare, but yes, and the networks will be different, so the hospitals and doctors will be different.
Let's do our vote today.
So if there's no other questions on 7, I'll go to 8.
I just have a question. So, I've just been in terms of looking at the two Blue Cross Blue Shield possibilities now. So the one that Blue Cross Blue Shield offered is $842,000 roughly, and the one that you are suggesting is $868,000. So it's like $20,000 more.
Right.
So you're suggesting, why are you suggesting that we pay the extra $20,000?
Well, the exposure to the employee is 500 less on the plan that I'm saying, because it's still doubling what their exposure is now. So an employee's exposure is either going to double or triple on deductible, okay? And the one that I'm suggesting doubles it, and the one that they gave you triples it.
Yeah.
And then on the same scenario with the out-of-pocket total. The rest of the plan, like I said, is all the same until you get to the RMs.
So you're suggesting it's a benefit to the employee for choosing the one that you have suggested?
Right, instead of tripling their exposure, doubling it.
You mean in terms of
It's mostly
deductible, right?
Deductible and out-of-pocket, yes. So I'm referring to the deductible and out-of-pocket.
Right, but that's for out of network. Most people won't go out of network.
Yeah, I'm not even really talking about out of
Intentional.
network. I'm not talking about that. It's gonna be really hard to go out of network with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Right. Yeah, you're not-
I mean, obviously, that's gonna be more too, a lot more, but it's gonna be hard to go out of network with Blue Cross.
Right.
So it's-
Any more questions on that page? All right, let's go to the next page that we have there.
So, page 7, I'm just showing you all Blue Cross. So I threw another couple options in there because I thought you might want to see, well, what does it look like if everybody's in an HSA, okay? Or what does it look like if we just take with Blue Cross a higher PPO copay plan? And can that work with, an HRA arrangement? Because these are things that we try to strategize and think about to save the group money and make sense, and maybe put a little of the, if you will, self-funding on the group, because they say, okay, we'll reimburse this exposure if it happens, but if it doesn't, then you don't pay it out. That's what I'm doing here in these last 2 rows on page 7 of 19. So you see, this is, the first 4 rows are the very same as the previous page, okay? The last 2 rows are what's different on this page. And the first one's an HSA, where there are no copays. So nobody goes to the doctor and pays a copay, nobody goes to the pharmacy and pays a copay. So if somebody has a really expensive medication, they could be paying $300, okay? Whenever you implement, when most employers implement an HSA, they usually come in also with some kind of contribution to the employees for that reason. If you have employees that have to only pay $300 or $500 for a prescription, because before you get any help at all in this plan from the carrier, you have to meet the deductible for everything, for doctor visits, RX.
Second to last column.
Okay, yeah, the second to last column, okay? So when you look at this, we don't have enough savings to do that. We would only save $7,153, and that is if everybody's in this plan. Everybody that's in the HMO right now, everybody that's in the PPO, everybody's in this plan. The savings is not even, it's $7,000, okay?
So don't we have an HSA right now, and nobody takes it, or do we not have one?
Correct. This is your current HSA. It's
Okay.
already on the renewal page. I don't think I ever added that. That must have been on there for years and years. Like, that's been on there forever, okay?
But nobody's signed up for it.
Nobody's in it. But this is the one that you currently have, and if we enrolled everybody in it, we could not implement that strategy and be ahead, is what I'm trying to show you. Because it is always something to look at.
Why you didn't recommend it to show us an option that wasn't recommended?
And then the very last one is if we just implement, okay, what if we just took a $1,500 PPO plan, so people did still have their co-pays, and maybe we can reimburse some level of exposure, you know, that way. Well, that's only gonna save us $12,000, so we, I mean, to even reimburse $500 of exposure and $1,000 for anything +1 that was an employee only, I mean, we would need like 24,000 employee, that would take the employee and the dependent's exposure down, right? Employee exposure, and the family exposure would be down, but it would be short $16,846.80 to reimburse to get there. So, I mean, to me, when you look at all that, I think it's much better to pay the 20,000 extra for the better plan. But I tried to show you justification of that in other plans that we might be able to achieve something with, but you know, we don't have enough savings.
Okay, does anyone have questions on 7, page 7? Okay, let's go to Dave.
And this is just a repeat of just the UHC plans. I just was requested to put it on a second page for, you know, easier reading and referencing. So. Page 9. So is there any other questions about the medical before I move on to the ancillary products, which is the dental, vision, life?
Did you have a question?
I just kind of had a question relating to this. Do we have, does the employees have flex spending available to help
Did you want to
out
answer
of
that
pocket?
question?
They do? Okay. Thank you.
Catherine, we can, if we were to vote on the insurance now, the health insurance, that's really an independent decision from the rest of the decisions, right? I mean, what the decision, I don't know.
Right, correct. So they're two different
regardless
carriers.
of what we choose for health,
Yes.
we can choose whatever
Yes.
we want for the rest of the
Yes, so if you
discussion.
wanted to vote on the health now, then we would move on to the.
Perhaps we should do that while it's fresh in our mind here. And does anyone want to ask any other questions or make any comments or say anything
You
about
don't want to
this?
continue with the vision and...
We could do that. I just didn't know if you wanted to take a vote first and then vote on the rest of it separately.
We have any input from the employees before we vote?
That would be good.
Any strong opinions on that? I think we should ask that. This is where we.
Yeah, I remember asking that question 1 or 2 years ago, but at that time we were able to continue grandfather. So I said, oh, does anyone have any problem with the grandfather one? No, but we can't continue it, so it's going to be a new ballgame here.
I don't want to cut anything off, just.
Does anybody have any preferences? I mean, you're not being put on the spot.
I'll say it's Blue Cross.
Blue Cross.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
I mean, to me, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I can tell you that we've had no complaints at all
Yeah.
from our carrier, so.
And no, they've been great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't deal with them every day, but just doing this now for 10 years, I mean, I have some background, and so they've been really good. And, you know, this was going back to the salary study. This was one of the things that was mentioned in the salary study was eventually we weren't going to be able to take advantage of the grandfather plan, and it would be a double whammy if we would start to implement and raise the salaries of some of the employees because they were American and being underpaid, and there'd be more exposure in the healthcare plan. So today's the day. And luckily, the exposure has been mitigated, you know, through your negotiations. So that's
Right.
good.
it's been
Not
negotiated.
as rainy, you know, it's not as rainy as we thought it would be, but, so, I agree.
So Kim, would you like to make a motion as to which one of the Blue Cross Blue Shield
Sure.
plans we should go with?
Sure. Okay, I'll make a motion to enter into a contract with the MIV-PP 2000 Alternate 2 Blue Cross Blue Shield Plan. Use the number.
You just read off the top one. Do I have, here a second for that?
Second.
Okay. Any further questions or comments?
I guess I just want to make sure that, like, budget-wise, we can compensate for that.
So,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So I increased every health insurance line item by 10%.
Okay,
So we're,
so it's good.
we're
Okay,
fine.
great.
Yeah. Looks like the increase is 35,000, right? Is that number right? 790, under the plan that you've recommended?
Going back.
35,797.92. Is that an increase from last year?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Okay.
So this is the one that's 868,000, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I guess I need a roll call now.
Did somebody second it?
I did.
Yeah,
I
okay,
did.
sorry, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either, but yeah.
Really quiet person, really soft-spoken.
It's like a little church
Like a
mouse.
little mouse.
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
Trustee Malina.
Yes. All right, thank you. Let's go on with the rest of the presentation, okay?
Okay, so thank you for that. So the renewal with principal for the 25,000 employer paid life is a 10% increase. It's like 8.56. They'll take it down to 5, like I said, if we add critical illness maximum for voluntary benefits for the employees to enroll in and move the vision over, which is the same network, BSP. Not really much else to say about that. We did do the marketing, obviously, and we have some other carriers. Lincoln, we were with Lincoln in the past, and they raised it, which they raised it, and we ended up moving. And then Equitable, it would not be beneficial for 7% to break up the benefits and go there because we have a package deal, so that's, I don't recommend that. And MetLife, everybody was extremely unhappy with MetLife when we were with them for dental, when we packaged it up to go there. So that's what I have to say about the other carriers, and you know, just mine to quote. Page 10 of 19 is a dental. So obviously there's no changes to the plan design. We have 4% increase on that, but they'll take it to flat, no increase if we have the vision to the package and the critical illness next. And the vision, here's the vision, so it shows what VSP on page 11 of 19, you'll see what VSP is at and has us secured until 2026, but Principal gave us lower rates. I also got 2 different plans from Principal. I have not heard any complaints from the employees about the plan. We have a 12-12-24, which means they get their exams every year. They can get their lenses or for their frames or contacts every year, and then they get frames once every 2 years. So if you wanted to move to Principal, I did quote a 12-12 plan where you can get frames every year too. It's a little bit more money. So I just gave you both options. And you can see here, MetLife is really, it's not a savings, and Lincoln is not a savings, and Equitable is still like a 5% savings. But we could not package everything up and go to those carriers to have happy networks and employees. So voluntary life, there's no change to. We have some people enrolled in voluntary life. Principal also allows the employee to increase their voluntary life $20,000 every open enrollment with no underwriting. Not if they have a spouse or children, but for the employee, they do allow that. So that's kind of a nice extra perk with principal, and they're not changing the rates. The only time the rates change for the voluntary life, or the employees who have elected that coverage and pay for it 100%, is when they move into a different 5-year age bracket. Otherwise, they're staying the same. So, page 13 of 19 is my recommendation page. It kind of just recaps where every carrier was in each line of coverage. So my recommendation for the dental would be to stay with principal. My recommendation for vision would be to move it to principal. As far as the basic life and AD&D, stay with principal, and the voluntary as well, just stay with principal.
Okay, any questions or comments?
Does the current plan, we have life insurance cover spouses? We just had that issue come up.
So on the
Unfortunately.
employer pay, no, it's just because it's the employees for what
Just
the
the
township
employee,
pays.
right.
But the voluntary, yes, you could have the spouse roll. Now, if you only have the opportunity to get the guaranteed issue with no underwriting, which is $100,000, okay?
Yeah.
When you're first eligible. So first eligible means you're a new employee and you've met your waiting period, right? The first of the month after 30 days. Or, that's really the only time. Because if you don't enroll then, you can still get life, but you have to submit an application of help.
For the spouse.
To be, yes, for the spouse too. So spouse is also guaranteed issue when you're first eligible, right?
So it's an option they have.
Yes, if you want to do it later, everybody can do it later, but you have to submit a statement of health. So you have to tell about your health, and they could deny it or accept it.
Any other questions?
So then the only other thing I included in here was, so you can see what the critical illness benefit looks like based on these different conditions that could happen, like how it could pay out. So I just wanted to include it so you had some idea of, well, what are they offering the employees? So they can go in 5,000 increments. The minimum amount would be 5,000. The guaranteed issue amount is 20,000. And maximum amount would be 50. That means they have to submit, obviously, evidence of health if they want to hire that guaranteed issue.
Are there any, have there been any complaints from the staff regarding principal? Have there been any complaints from staff regarding principal?
No, just during the time I've been here, which is over 2 years, just one incident happened and it was fixed right away.
Okay.
That's good. So the accident coverage too, it kind of breaks down what you get for that. Okay, so like a burn up to $5,000, a coma $15,000, concussion $500, dental injury. So there's miscellaneous things that the accident could help with. You also get a wellness and portability. So if you're not here, you can port the coverage. Does anybody have any questions on the extra critical illness and accident? Again, they're just asking that you offer it to the employees and that we get some kind of enrollment to take the dental flat with no increase, okay, and take the life, employer-paid life from the 8.6 that it is down to 5. And move the vision over. Which I don't see any reason not to do, because it's less. And you just gotta decide which plan you want. If you want the same plan that you have now, it's less money. If you want the 12-12-12 benefit for the employees, then it's a little bit more than you're paying, than BSP is now, because it's different.
We're saving money if we move the vision plan. Does that balance out a better plan? The 12-12-24?
Let's go back and see what exactly it is. So, the vision, no, it would be, so if you take the same plan you have now, it's 5.5% less. If you go to the better plan, it would be almost 5% more than what the vision prices are now. But when you look at
So
the
we'd
price,
save 0.5%.
I'm sorry?
It wouldn't cost more money, we'd save 0.5%, is that?
No, so compared to the vision rates now with VSP, if you move over the same plan design, it will be a savings of 5.52%. Okay, we have savings from what
Yes.
VSP currently is, but same network. But if you take the better plan, it will actually cost 4.96% more for the 12-12-12 plan. Because it's a better plan.
So it's like 9% more than the original plan, 9.5%?
No, that's based on current. It's based on current, so
So
4.96.
for gaining, I guess, for gaining 5% by switching over, but the better plan is
96.
4.96% more, isn't that just about balancing it out? Because if we move to the better vision plan,
So it's $135 savings, or it's 121 more a year. So it's not, when you're looking at vision rates, they're so minimal that, you know, the employee's gonna pay, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I have a brain cloud. Employees pay 100% for vision, right? You guys just do 50% of the dental, okay. So it's $7.42 instead of $7.07. You know, so I mean, not
For
it's
the
like
better
penny,
plan.
for the better plan, it's pennies more, yeah, so it's so like,
so that's what I mean, it just balances out. It just is like one for one almost.
Yeah.
So you might as well get the better plan.
right. So for employee spouse, instead of 1069, it's 1187, so like, and employee child, 1091, it goes to 1212 for a 1212 plan. And then family 1759 or 1955, so nothing's really over $2 difference a month.
Kim, do you want to make a motion?
Are we ready?
I don't think there's any more questions.
So I guess the questions are, do you want to move from VSP and package it up with principal, right? And do you want to offer the critical illness accident? Because that's what you would have to do to get the reduction on the employer paid life and the flat settle.
But there's no charge for that, right? The accident.
Not to the township, that would just be the employee's cost if they choose to roll.
That's optional.
Critical
Critical illness, because if they get any of those illnesses that I showed, they get the payout. That they choose, there's a couple
Nobody
options.
gets a payout.
Any questions on that?
Nobody get payout.
Medical care insurance.
You have to stay healthy. Okay.
There's no benefit here.
All right, motion to, I guess, accept the contract with the principal, including the complete package and the 12-12-24 vision care, along with the accidental
And critical illness.
accidental
Critical illness.
critical
Yeah.
illness and accident.
Do you want the 24 vision or the 12?
I think she wants the 12-12-12, yeah.
Oh, the 12-12-12, okay, the better one.
That's the,
Yeah, just want the better one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Glasses every.
yeah. Glasses.
Need a microphone.
Go to second.
Second.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Belief?
Yes.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks,
Well,
Kevin.
thank
Roy,
you
work
for
with
all your support all these years, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
I know what I have to do now.
Okay, good. All right, we'll go down to our next item now, and this is approval of reimbursement to Susan Royal Prize for training and conference expenses. You may wonder, why is this on our agenda? We don't usually do this, but yes, well, a few months back, we had to amend our travel policy to conform with state requirements. State law requires that we actually take a vote to reimburse, board members for training and conference expenses. So you do have in your place the mileage reimbursement for requested by Susan. So we have a motion to reimburse Susan Oil and Craig for her travel expenses before going to the training and conference.
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments?
Did she have fun at the conference?
Hard work. Classes.
Rose Wednesday.
Okay, all right. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett?
I said yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry.
Trustee Jones? Trustee
Yes.
Barza?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, finally, discussion and possible amendment of facilities license agreement. So if you got my email, I mentioned that ASIP would like to hold barbecue on May 11th. And this is just by invitation. We'll have a lot of people there, but a limited number of people. And he would like to do it in the parking lot. So this license agreement proposal is just amending it so he can rent out the parking lot as well as the other facilities. And I think they're good with that asset, and as I said, I'd like to pay the fee because I think it's very generous of you to host this for all these people. I'm sure it's because of one money expensive.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I have a motion to amend the facility event space license agreement as indicated in the handout that you have?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I wish I could make it. I don't know if I can make it. I'll try. All Steve's events are
It's
magnificent.
delicious. All right. Is it good?
Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now we are at that portion of the meeting regarding official reports. Start with you, Susan.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we are closed now for exemptions. They shut us out this morning. We can no longer submit exemptions for our residents. I think the reasoning for this too is they're trying to get our tax bills out on time. So they're actually hoping to get them out at the end of June, due on August 1st. But I think that was a great assault. It'd probably be a good thing. We are tentatively scheduled to open for appeals now, May 7th. So it's just going from one situation into the next. But to be honest, people are still coming in and they want us to do exemptions. And we take them, but we cannot submit. So we're going to see what happens with that county. And, you know, we can go back so many years, so we can go actually back to 2018 for missed exemptions. But that window is going to be closed shortly. So we have stacks that we have not submitted because they won't take them, there's no way for us to submit. We're just going to hold on to them and see what we'll have to do with them. So tentatively, like I said, May 7th for the Cook County Assessor open for appeals. And then we'll see if their tax bill does come on time. That's why we're closed for exemption. All right, thank you. I don't think we
I'll be quick. So we submitted for the Investing Cook grants with Cook County. We obtained over six or seven letters of support from local elected officials. We did get an interview, which Cook County told us that Des Plaines has never been accepted into the interview process before, this area for this particular grant, so that was good. We think we did a good job on the interview. They really liked the project. We met with the county planner and then Department of Transportation, John McNellis. So they both really liked the project that we submitted, which was the bike lane to be installed on Church, connecting Greenwood to Potter, and then sidewalks from Greenwood west to Potter Road, and then north from Church to Kathy Lane on Western. So those are two main routes, major routes in our residential area. So we submitted for just under a $500,000 grant request. And then in the next couple months, we should be hearing back if it's going to the county board for a vote. So it's a good thing, and we're just hopeful that we get the grant funding. So thanks.
And I just want to say I'm really thrilled that, you're moving forward with this. I think it's just great for people in the township to be able to walk County 5, active transportation, it's good for all of us, and for the environment and everything. So thank you for pursuing it. Want to go for it next week?
Only thing I want to add to my report is the first National Night Out meeting will be on Monday, May 20th, 7 p.m. at Feldman Center. We'll have pizza pop for anybody that would like to attend. And National Night Out this year will be on Tuesday, August 6th, and it's always at Deep Park.
Let's see. Too much to report. I want to remind everybody of the neighborhood watch meeting tomorrow night. It's at 7 o'clock, and I always want to invite everybody, hopefully, come and air any grievances or just get information that they may want from the Niles Fire Department or the township or the Cook County Sheriff. It's always interesting and informative. So hopefully we'll get good attendance tomorrow. And I plan to attend some of the upcoming events, the pollinator event, the Highway Commission Convey is organizing, and the electronic recycling event, which are the same day. So everybody clears their schedule to attend.
I'm sorry, can you give us some more details on the pollinator? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you tell us more about it?
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Saturday, May 18th. If anybody can make it, it's at Isaac Walton Lee in Des Plaines. They were kind enough to host the event. It's a much more attractive venue than the highway department space down Redcar Road. So May 18th from 10 to noon. Anybody who wants a free pollinator plant can call us. We still have about 75 spots available. And then Chris Pesci from Pesci's was kind enough to donate 100, he said anywhere from 150 to 200 plants. So
do people have to call and reserve that ahead of time?
people have to call and reserve a time slot, yes. And then we will,
Time slot, not a time.
a time slot and a number, and then when they show up, we'll check them in.
And where's this located when they go?
Isaac Walton Lee in Des Plaines.
It's on River Road.
Just
Yeah, right over by Paradise Club.
everybody's street.
So thanks, Kim, for mentioning that.
Looking forward to it. And of course, I'm going to do my best to attend the barbecue. Enjoyed it the last, that concludes my report.
Jim?
I don't see it on there. I hope I'm not getting Alzheimer's, but I think Taste of Des Plaines might be coming up.
It is.
It's not such a-
It is on there's like an agenda that was at your place that was updated, that has it down there. But the first version that was in your packet was not on there. So it's on this now. It's June 14th to 15th.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
It's part of it.
No, that's
No, I did add it.
It's June 14th and 15th, and we're gonna have a table there.
No,
The Des Plaines event.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Got this mixed up.
As distinguished from Taste of
It's
Des Plaines.
bridges in July.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure, Friday and Saturday.
Taste of Plains.
Just wanted to see if you could catch it.
I also, yes, you would see if I go to the on vacation too. That would be rather stupid. I could go to Park Ridge and say, all right, well, thanks for 5 minutes. That would look very silly.
Okay, Asa?
No, I have nothing to say. I was in Pakistan, I am back now. I can say. I'm like a wave,
know two people who
I got 5
love
days,
so you can tell them.
9 and 5 days free in Dubai, so that was.
That does sound amazing.
I'm glad you're back safely.
Yes.
All right, so I have just a few things to mention. Of course, we just got done with our catalytic converter event. That was Saturday. And I think we had 120 people or something like that. That's what they told me. That's what the sheriff said there were.
Yeah.
So it went pretty smoothly, and we got all those catalytic converters marked. So, you should see in your materials, we've got some nice compliments about that too. So that's good. Coming up, parade season. So you should each have at your place a Park Ridge parade information, a little email. So hang on to that. It tells you where to go, where to be there. Just for your information, the next parade would be, well, let me ask, is everyone planning on going to the Park Ridge parade? That is Memorial Day
I'm going to go to the displays.
on the 4th of July.
No, I'm on the, Memorial, yeah.
And is that what you're going to do on that day?
I was gonna try to go to both,
Okay.
but it's kind of tight.
Yeah.
What time are they going?
Well, the Park Ridge parade starts at 9:30. And then, is it 10 o'clock they start over at the Lake Wapico?
Yeah, 10, 10:30, and then the ceremony goes past 11.
Okay. Well, I guess we can just do the best we can and see if we can make it. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about, I don't know, all riding over there. Maybe we can have like the van park. We can all jump in and go over there.
The parade?
Let's see. I don't know if they've already got us assigned. Let's see.
Or you might be able to scooch out when you get to,
Yeah, before we
right
get.
before you turn around to come uptown.
All right. But let's talk about that maybe, and we can figure out if we can just leave the parade maybe when it's at the northwest corner of its route, something like that, before it cuts into downtown parade, downtown parade. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later about that. Okay?
Have you heard back from Joe Steinfels?
Yeah.
Did he send you a spot?
No, I don't see a spot on here. I mean, I think we're always in the same spot, but he doesn't, well, it says, your assigned parade spot will be spent approximately 2 weeks prior to the event.
Okay.
Well, maybe we can call them and ask them to put us towards the front.
Okay, to do that. Probably a lot of people are doing that, but we can ask. We can ask, and maybe we can get done sooner with that parade. But again, we might have to cut out.
And I don't know what we have to do to get a wreath if we want to put a wreath in the displays ceremony. Anything where organizations bring wreaths out.
Did you do that last year then?
Yeah, I did one,
Or
yeah.
the year before, maybe?
Yeah, I think you just have to let the commander of the VFW post know, and then purchase your wreath from whatever flower, or make your own wreath from whatever flower store.
Do you want to do one with us or do separate ones, or?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even heard back from them, to be honest with you, so I don't know what their plans are this year, but yeah, we can reach out and see.
Okay. All right. And then just looking forward, I'm not going to talk about this a lot because we will, later we can talk about the Niles Parade and Displays Parade. I mean, Niles and Displays Parade, which as usual will be on July 4th on the same day. And we'll forward that. And we're usually able to do that. So, okay, any other official reports? All right, then we do have one matter to address when we come back into open session, but right now we have a motion to go into a closed session for the purpose of discussing 1, litigation which is probably imminent, or imminent, 2, security procedures, and the use of personnel or equipment to respond to an actual, a threat, or a reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property, and 3, discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. I have a motion to go into closed session for those reasons.
So, second?
Okay. All right. Roll call?
Supervisor Gagnon?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Lee?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. As I mentioned, we probably will just come back to that one matter. Now, and we have one item left on our agenda, and that is a possible vote on a litigation matter. Do I have a motion to accept the recommendation of Ansel Blink to settle tax rate objections for the years 2010 through 2014?
Motion to accept Ansel Blink's recommendation to settle the lawsuit for years 2010 through 2014.
Okay.
So for $33,000.
$916.58.
Second.
You put begrudgingly in there?
Okay, any questions or comments about that?
Is there questions? No. This took you by surprise this one.
Okay,
No
roll
questions.
call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to
Sorry, we
adjourn?
have a motion.
Motion to adjourn? Second, for a second?
Second.
Second, okay, roll call.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Thank you.